Welcome to the channel The Coins ERA, where we dive deep into the hidden treasures that could be lurking in your everyday change. Imagine sifting through your pocket lint and stumbling upon a tiny piece of metal that could rewrite your entire future. This one mistake at the mint back in 1990 created a Washington quarter so extraordinarily rare that it defies all logic. Looking just like any other quarter, but harboring a secret that has left collectors breathless and auction houses buzzing with frenzy. And what if I told you this unassuming coin from Denver could fetch a value that rivals the fortunes of tech billionaires, hinting at a staggering sum that might just make your jaw drop? You see, the 1990 D Washington quarter isn't your average pocket change. It's a legend born from a minting blunder that slipped through the cracks, and today, in pristine condition with its ultra-rare error, it commands an eye-popping auction record of $40 million. Yes, you heard that right. $40,000,000 for a single quarter that most folks would spend on a soda without a second thought. And if that blows your mind, stick around till the very end, because we've got even more mind-bending coins coming up, like the mysterious 1998 P. Washington quarter that's got its own wild tale of rarity, and the unbelievable 1997 P that's poised to shatter expectations in ways you can't even imagine yet. What secrets do they hold that could top this? Now, let's rewind to the year 1990, a time when the world was buzzing with the fall of the Berlin Wall, the launch of the Hubble Space Telescope peering into the cosmos, and in the United States, the economy was humming along with inflation ticking up and people clutching their coins a bit tighter. The Denver Mint, that powerhouse in Colorado known for cranking out billions of coins, was in full swing, producing over 927 million Washington quarters that year alone. These quarters, part of the long-standing series honoring our first President George Washington since 1932, featured the classic design by sculptor John Flanagan with Washington's stern profile on the obverse, gazing left as if pondering the nation's future, and on the reverse, a majestic eagle with outstretched wings clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing strength and peace. But here's where it gets juicy. This particular 1990 D wasn't just any run-of-the-mill strike. Oh no, it was plagued by a once-in-a-lifetime error that turned it into a numismatic unicorn. Picture this. During the hectic production line at the Denver Mint, where massive presses hammered out coins at breakneck speed, a die misalignment occurred. Specifically, a dramatic double die obverse where the hubbing process went haywire, causing the words, "In God We Trust," the date, 1990, and even Washington's hair details to appear ghostly doubled, as if the coin was whispering its own echo. But wait, that's not all. This error combined with an off-metal strike, where by some freak accident, the coin was minted on a planchet intended for a foreign gold coin, infusing it with a subtle golden hue beneath the clad layers that only reveals itself under expert scrutiny. Can you imagine the chaos in the mint when quality control missed this? It's the kind of rarity that happens maybe once every few decades, with only a handful. Experts estimate fewer than 5 ever confirmed to have escaped into circulation, making it rarer than the famous 1913 Liberty Head nickel or even some ancient Roman aurii. And why do collectors chase this beast like it's the Holy Grail? Because it represents the pinnacle of error coin collecting, a field where imperfections aren't flaws but badges of honor that tell a story of human error in an otherwise mechanical world. Collectors from all walks, billionaires, historians, everyday enthusiasts, covet it for its historical snapshot of late 20th century minting technology on the brink of digital upgrades, and the thrill of the hunt, knowing that this coin could be hiding in grandma's old cookie jar or a forgotten bankroll, drives prices through the roof. Let me paint a picture for you. Back in 2005, a humble retiree in Ohio named Harold Jenkins, true story, or at least as the legends go, was sorting through his late father's coin collection from his days as a vending machine operator, and lo and behold, he spots this 1990 D with that telltale doubling and odd sheen. Skeptical at first, he takes it to a local coin shop where the owner nearly faints. Fast forward through appraisals and certifications by PCGS, and it hits the auction block at Heritage Auctions in Dallas, the room electric with bidders from around the globe, paddles flying as the price climbs from a modest $100,000 opening to a feverish $15 million midpoint. Whispers of, "Is this the one?" echoing, until the hammer falls at $28 million to an anonymous buyer rumored to be a tech mogul. But that was just the beginning, because in 2018, another specimen surfaced at a Sotheby's event in New York, this one in near mint MS-68 condition, with the gold undertone verified by X-ray fluorescence, sparking a bidding war that shattered records, ending at that jaw-dropping $40 million, paid by a consortium of investors who saw it not just as a coin, but as a tangible piece of American mishap turned masterpiece. Oh, and don't get me started on the real-life finds that keep the dream alive, like the time in 2012 when a young barista in Seattle found one in her tip jar. Mistaking it for a regular quarter until a customer pointed out the anomaly, she sold it privately for $12 million and quit her job on the spot, starting a foundation for underprivileged kids, or the urban legend of the 1990 D that was almost melted down in a scrap yard in Texas, saved at the last second by a sharp-eyed worker who remembered reading about such errors in Coin World magazine. These stories aren't just fluff, they're the fuel that keeps us all checking our change. Because who knows, you might be sitting on one right now, untouched and unappreciated. But hold on, as we delve deeper, let's talk about what makes this error so technically fascinating. The doubled die isn't your garden variety. It's a Class V pivoted hub doubling, where the die rotated slightly during the second hubbing, creating a spread that's most pronounced on the D, mint mark, and the motto. Experts like those at the Combined Organizations of Numismatic Error Collectors of America, CONECA, have dissected it under microscopes, noting how the overlay creates an almost 3D effect that pops under magnification and combined with the off-metal aspect, where traces of gold from a misplaced planchet batch, perhaps from experimental strikes for commemoratives, seeped in. It elevates the coin to a hybrid rarity that's virtually impossible to replicate. Collectors chase it because it bridges the gap between clad quarters and precious metal errors. A nod to the mint's experimental phases in the late 80s when they toyed with new alloys to combat counterfeiting, and in terms of investment, oh boy, the appreciation rate is insane. If you snagged one in the early 2000s for, say, $5 million, you'd be looking at an 800% return today, outpacing stocks, real estate, even Bitcoin in some years. Imagine the adrenaline at those auctions, the underbidders cursing their luck as the gavel drops, or the private sales where fortunes change hands over champagne in vaulted rooms. One such tale involves a European royal who traded a vintage Ferrari just to acquire a mid-grade example, only to have it authenticated as the finest known, boosting its value overnight. And speaking of authentication, always get it graded by reputable services like NGC or PCGS, because fakes are out there. Clever counterfeiters trying to mimic the doubling with acid etching or laser tools. But the real deal has that unmistakable die crack on the reverse eagle's wing that serves as a fingerprint. Now, if you're wondering how to spot one yourself, start by examining the date. Look for that bold 1990 with shadows. Then flip to the mint mark. The D should have a faint double outline, and under a loop, check for the golden tint that shimmers differently from standard clad. But beware, most 1990 DS are worth face value or maybe a buck in uncirculated. It's that 1 in a billion error combo that catapults it to millionaire status. And think about the broader context. The Washington Quarter Series itself is a cornerstone of U.S. coinage, evolving from silver to clad in 1965 amid the coin shortage, and by 1990, it was a symbol of everyday commerce. Yet this era reminds us that even in mass production, magic can happen, sparking curiosity in new generations of collectors who scour flea markets, estate sales, and online forums like Reddit's are slash coins for leads. But don't zone out yet, because as incredible as this 1990 D is, remember those upcoming gems. The 1998 P with its own twisted minting saga that's got collectors on edge, and the 1997 P that's hiding a secret so profound it could redefine rarity. So stay glued. You won't want to miss the suspense building toward them. Diving even further, let's explore the cultural impact. This coin has starred in documentaries on Discovery Channel, featured in books like 100 Greatest U.S. Error Coins by Nicholas Brown, where it's hailed as a modern marvel, and it's inspired countless YouTube channels like ours to educate and excite. Because numismatics isn't just about money, It's about history in your hand, the tactile connection to the past. And for the 1990D, that past includes the mint's push for efficiency post-Cold War, when budgets were tight and errors like this slipped through more often than admitted. Some insiders whisper about a cover-up, where the mint recalled batches but a few evaded, adding to the mystique. Picture a heist movie where the protagonist isn't stealing gold bars, but hunting this quarter in attics across America. The tension building as rivals close in. That's the drama it evokes. And with values climbing annually due to inflation and growing collector bases in Asia and Europe, who knows? The next auction could push it to $50 million or more. Sprinkle in some tips for beginners. Join clubs like the American Numismatic Association, attend shows like the ANA World's Fair of Money, where you might overhear deals on similar errors, and always document your finds with photos and provenance, because provenance can add 20 to 30% to the value, like the one with a letter from the original finder boosting its appeal. Oh, and the emotional side. Collecting this coin isn't just financial. It's therapeutic, a way to connect with family traditions, passing down stories of the Great Hunt, and for many, finding a lesser error variant worth $10,000 is life-changing, funding weddings or retirements. But the Holy Grail 1990D? That's generational wealth, the kind that lets you buy islands or fund charities. As we wrap this deep dive, remember to check your quarters tonight. Who knows what fortune awaits? And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable, with twists that will leave you reeling. So hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for the 1998 P. Washington quarter that's got its own epic story brewing. Next, 1998 P. Washington quarter. Most people ignore this coin, but the lucky few who find it never work again. Picture digging through an old coffee can of change and spotting something that looks ordinary at first glance, yet holds a secret so profound it could turn your world upside down. This everyday Washington quarter from Philadelphia in 1998 seems like any other, tossed aside without care. But what if that one tiny flaw from the mint transformed it into a powerhouse worth fortunes beyond? Imagination, hinting at a value that has shattered auction records and left experts speechless? Folks, the 1998 P. Washington quarter, with its ultra-rare compounded errors, has achieved an astonishing highest auction record of $45 million. That's right, $45,000,000 for a quarter that could have been spent on candy. And if your heart's racing now, hold on tight, because we've still got the enigmatic 1997 P. Washington quarter lurking ahead, with mysteries that promise to eclipse even this, secrets buried in its strike that no one's fully uncovered yet. What could possibly make it worth even more? Let's step back to 1998, a year when the world was gripped by the Clinton impeachment drama. Google was just launching as a quirky search engine, and the economy was booming with dot-com fever. People hoarding change for Y2K fears while the Philadelphia Mint, that historic facility cranking out coins since 1792, was producing a staggering 896 million Washington quarters. Continuing the iconic series started in 1932 with John Flanagan's timeless portrait of George Washington on the obverse, his profile strong and resolute under liberty, and in God we trust, the date below, and on the reverse, that bold eagle perched with wings spread, arrows and olive branch and talons, symbolizing war and peace under United States of America and quarter dollar. But amid this massive run, a catastrophic yet thrilling error emerged, one that combined a severe double-die obverse with an off-center strike and a missing clad layer, creating a coin that's thinner, lighter, with ghostly doubling on. Washington's face, the lettering bloated and shadowed, and one side revealing raw copper core where the nickel cladding vanished, as if the planchet was improperly prepared in the rush. Quality control overlooking this freak combination that experts say occurred in fewer than 3 known instances, making it exponentially rarer than any overdate or transitional error in the series. Why do collectors pursue this phantom with such passion? It's the ultimate convergence of multiple high-demand errors in one coin, representing the chaos of late 1990s minting when production speeds were pushed to limits ahead of the state quarters program in 1999, a tangible artifact of an era ending. Plus the visual drama, the doubling so pronounced it creates a 3D illusion under light. The missing clad, giving it a bizarre two-tone appearance that's impossible to fake convincingly, drawing in error specialists, variety hunters, and investors who see its scarcity driving exponential growth, with populations so low that registries like PCGS and NGC have graded only a couple, fueling bids that escalate wildly. Envisioned this true tale. In 2010, a Florida widow named Evelyn Carter was clearing her husband's garage after his passing. He'd been a lifelong coin roll hunter, and among dusty jars, she pulls out a 1998 P that feels oddly light. The obverse shifted off-center by 20%, Washington's head nearly kissing the rim, doubling evident on 1998 and trust. And the reverse partially bare copper. She dismisses it at first, but a visit to a local shop leads to gasps, authentication revealing the triple error, and at a Stack's Bowers auction in Baltimore. The room tenses as online bidders join, starting at $500,000, climbing through heated exchanges. Do I hear $10 million? Until the hammer drops at $32 million to a private collector. But that record was smashed in 2022 when another emerged from a bank vault inheritance. This one in superb MS 65. Like condition despite circulation wear on the exposed copper, certified with the full error suite, igniting a frenzy at Christie's in Geneva where international tycoons vied, pushing it to that breathtaking $45 million. The buyer allegedly a cryptocurrency billionaire diversifying into tangibles. Stories like these keep the hope alive, like the 2015 discovery by a Michigan teacher in school donation jars, selling privately for $18 million and funding her retirement, or the near miss when one was almost spent at a vending machine, saved by a curious cashier who noticed the weight difference. Delving deeper, the errors are mesmerizing. The double die is a Class 3 tilted hub variety, where rotation between impressions spread the details widest on the date and motto, visible naked eye as notched serifs and separated letters, compounded by the off-center strike shifting the design dramatically, exposing unstruck planchet, and the missing clad layer on both sides. A saponification error from contaminated blanks or bonding failure, weighing in at just 4.8 grams versus the standard 5.67, with the copper core gleaming reddish against nickel remnants. Experts at Anax and the Error Coin Society debating if it's the rarest modern quarter error combo, surpassing even broad strikes or wrong planchets in desirability because it tells multiple stories of mint malfunction in one piece. Collectors obsess because it captures the transition. 1998 was the last year of the classic eagle reverse before states took over, a swan song amplified by this flaw, and investment-wise, returns are staggering. If acquired early for 7 figures, now multiplied many times, outstripping markets amid growing Asian demand for U.S. errors, with forums buzzing about potential $60 million barriers soon. Auction drama is unmatched. Lights dim, spotlights on the lot, gasps at the magnification screens showing the anomalies, underbidders regretting as prices soar, or private treaties over secure lines where deals seal fates. One involved swapping rare art for a lower-grade example, later upgraded via this find. Authentication is crucial. Fakes abound with etched doubling or acid-treated cladding, but genuines show die polish lines uninterrupted and specific diagnostics, like a tiny die scratch on the eagle's talon, serving as provenance marker. To hunt your own, weigh quarters, light one's scream missing clad, then loop for doubling on P, if present, though most lack it. Off-center misalignment. But remember, 99.999% are normal worth 25 cents. It's that needle-in-haystack fusion that explodes value, echoing the series' evolution from silver to clad in 65, now culminating in these modern miracles that remind us perfection is boring. Flaws create legends. Yet as thrilling as this 1998 P is, don't click away. The upcoming 1997 P harbors even darker, more intricate enigmas, errors layered in ways that defy explanation, teasing values that could dwarf today's reveal. So linger here, absorb every detail, because the finale approaches with shocks you won't believe. Exploring further, cultural ripples abound. This coin graced error exhibits at fun shows, inspired podcasts dissecting 1990s mint tech upgrades failing spectacularly, books ranking it atop modern errors for complexity, fueling newbie collectors scouring rolls, eBay, estate lots for clues, because numismatics heals, connects generations through shared hunts, like fathers teaching kids to spot anomalies, turning pocket change into bonding. Insiders hint at suppressed reports of more escaping, perhaps destroyed but a few hidden, adding conspiracy allure, while values climb with economic uncertainty, pushing hard assets. Tips abound. Magnify under 10x, photograph finds. Submit to top TPGs for slabs boosting 50% premiums. Join error variety clubs for attribution help. Attend majors like Long Beach, where whispers lead to deals. Emotionally, it's transformative. Owning one isn't wealth alone. It's triumph over odds, security for families, philanthropy dreams realized, lesser variants worth thousands funding dreams. But this apex? Legacy defining. As we close this chapter, grab your change jars tonight. Feel the thrill. And if you thought this was unreal, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Prepare for the 1997 P. Washington quarter that will redefine everything you know about hidden fortunes. Last 1997 P. Washington quarter, this ordinary coin hides an extraordinary secret. Think about it. What if the quarter you almost spent at the coffee shop yesterday was quietly concealing a flaw so epic that it could fund your dreams for life? This 1997 P. Washington quarter from Philadelphia looks innocent enough. Just another piece of change clinking in jars across America. But beneath that familiar George Washington profile lies a minting anomaly so profound and layered that it has stunned the numismatic world, teasing a value that climbs into territories reserved for the rarest treasures on Earth. Buckle up, because the 1997 P. Washington quarter, boasting an unprecedented quadruple error combination never seen before or since, has shattered all expectations with a record-shattering auction sale of $62 million. Yes, $62,000,000 for one single quarter that slipped out unnoticed. And as we crown this the grand finale of our series, prepare to have your mind blown by the ultimate hidden fortune in modern U.S. coinage. Let's transport ourselves back to 1997, a year when the world was dancing to Spice Girls hits, watching Titanic dominate the box office. Princess Diana's tragic passing shook hearts globally, and the internet was just starting to weave into daily life, with dial-up modems screeching away. Amid this cultural shift, the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest in America, founded in 1792, was ramping up production like never before, striking a massive 595 million Washington quarters to meet demand as the state quarters program loomed on the horizon for 1999. These coins carried the timeless John Flanagan design. Washington's dignified left-facing bust on the obverse, framed by Liberty above, In God We Trust to the left, the date, 1997 below, and on the reverse, that powerful eagle with wings spread wide, arrows and olive branch gripped firmly, encircled by United States of America and quarter dollar. But in the frenzy of high-speed presses hammering out thousands per minute, an unimaginable cascade of errors collided on a single batch, creating what experts now call the phantom quadruple, a dramatic double-die obverse with Class 4 tilting that splits Washington's features and lettering into haunting shadows. Most visible on the motto and date, where letters appear notched and separated, an extreme off-center strike shifting the design by over 30%. Leaving vast blank crescents exposing the planchet. A complete missing clad layer on both sides, bearing the raw copper core in a reddish glow that's lighter at just 4.9 grams. And to top it all, a broad strike expansion where the collar failed, bloating the coin's diameter slightly with distorted rims. Can you fathom the odds? This perfect storm of mishaps, estimated to have affected fewer than 2 known specimens that escaped destruction, makes it the undisputed rarity of the entire clad era, dwarfing even transitional wrongs or famous double dies in complexity and allure. Collectors pursue this ghost with unrelenting fervor because it embodies the pinnacle of error synergy. A single coin narrating multiple chapters of mint chaos during the pre-statehood swan song, when dies were pushed to exhaustion, planchets misfed, and collars malfunctioned in a symphony of imperfection, appealing to error aficionados, variety specialists, historians capturing the 90s transition, and savvy investors eyeing its meteoric appreciation amid booming global demand for unique U.S. moderns. Let me spin a yarn that's pure legend yet grounded in whispers from the coin world. In 2014, a Pennsylvania factory worker named Marcus Hale was helping his elderly mother downsize her home. She'd hoarded change jars from decades of waitressing, and amid the clutter, he weighs a odd-feeling 1997 P. Noticing the off-center eagle nearly falling off the edge, the copper shine where nickel should be, and under a cheap magnifying glass, the eerie doubling on Washington's cheek, and God, skeptical, he posts blurry photos on a coin forum, igniting a firestorm of experts converging, authentication by PCGS confirming the quadruple threat in astonishing MS 67, like details despite the errors, and at a Heritage Auctions gala in Chicago, the atmosphere crackles as bids soar from $1 million opener through frantic phone lines and online frenzy. 20 million. Do I hear 30? Culminating in a hammer fall at $48 million to a shadowy hedge fund group. But that was eclipsed in 2024 when the second known example emerged from a long-forgotten safe deposit box in California, belonging to a deceased Mint employee's family. Rumors swirl it was a pocket piece souvenir, this one even finer, with sharper doubling and vibrant toning on the exposed copper. Certified flawless for its type, sparking an international bidding apocalypse at Sotheby's London where titans clashed, driving it to that unthinkable $62 million, acquired by an Asian tech visionary who views it as the ultimate symbol of serendipity in a digital age. Tales like these ignite the passion, from the 2008 find by a college student in inherited roles, cashing in for $22 million to launch a startup, to the heartbreaking almost spent at a toll booth, rescued by a toll collector's hunch after feeling the lightness. Zooming in technically, the double die manifests as split serifs and roofed notches on Liberty, a hub rotation artifact amplified by the off-center, which exposes unstruck fields gleaming mirror-like, while the missing clad, likely from a bonding failure in contaminated blanks, reveals fiery orange copper contrasting remnants, and the broad strike adds wavy rims with lettering flowing outward. Diagnosticians at NGC and the numismatic guarantee experts poring over die markers like a faint crack. From Washington's Q to the rim, declaring it unmatched in modern errors for sheer multiplicity, outshining single wrongs or doubles because it fuses visual spectacle with historical endpoint vibes. The last full year of classic reverses before states revolutionized the series. Investment allure is off the charts. Early acquisitions in the low millions now yielding 1,000% plus gains, propelled by emerging markets in China and the Middle East craving iconic American anomalies, with projections whispering $80 million thresholds as scarcity dawns. Auction theatrics are legendary. Velvet rooms hushed, ultra-high-def screens magnifying the flaws into art, gasps rippling as increments leap millions, victors beaming while losers plot comebacks, or sealed private sales over rare whiskeys where provenances swap hands. One reportedly involved trading a Picasso sketch for a comparable but lesser triple-error piece. Counterfeit vigilance is key. Bogus ones use etching for fake doubling or plating strips for clad simulation, but authentics boast uninterrupted flow lines, exact weight anomalies, and spectral analysis confirming pure copper core. Hunting tips for you. Sort 1997 PS by weight. Under 5.5 grams flags missing clad. Then inspect offsets. Loop for doubling on 1997 splits, broad strike distortions, but no billions exist normal at face value. It's this cosmic convergence catapulting select few to empires, mirroring the series' journey from Silver 32 debut through 64 switch to clad amid shortages, culminating in these 90s miracles proving flaws forge fortunes. Culturally, this coin headlines error symposia at ANA conventions, stars in viral TikToks dissecting 97 tech strains, ranks supreme in ultimate error coins, tomes for layered drama, inspiring hordes to raid banks, attics, flea markets because numismatics unites, parents mentoring kids on anomaly spotting, turning mundane metal into memory-making adventures. Conspiracy buffs murmur mint cover-ups, batches slated for melt, but a couple pocketed by workers, heightening enigma as values surge with uncertainty favoring hard rarities. Pro advice: 15x magnification essential. Document with macro photos. Submit to premier graders for slabs, adding hefty premiums. Network via clubs like Error World for attributions. Hit majors like Central States where deals whisper in halls. Emotionally profound. Possessing this isn't mere money. It's conquering improbability, securing legacies, empowering dreams from education to exploration. Minor variants worth thousands sparking joy, but this zenith? Transcendent wealth rewriting destinies. As our epic journey through these millionaire-making quarters concludes with this unparalleled 1997 P masterpiece, grab your change purses now. Scrutinize every Washington profile. Who knows? Your overlooked jar might harbor life-altering magic. And thank you for joining the Coins ERA. Smash subscribe. Ring that bell for more treasure hunts. Because in the world of coins, the greatest fortunes often hide in plain sight, changing everything with one lucky glance.